Good evening. Are you guys ready for the women's final? The Youth Olympic Committee qualifier for North America. We introduce our umpires first. We have Joseph Yick and Jeffrey Wong. From Turnersville, New Jersey, in the Lily Yip Table Tennis Club, currently ranked number 45 in the world and under 18. The 2016 World Cadet Challenge gold medalist in mixed doubles and member of the U.S. national team, Amy Wong. And from Belleville, Washington, and competing at the Seattle Pacific Table Tennis Club, currently ranked number 22 in the world and number 1 in North America junior girls. Member of all 3 national teams, the cadet, junior, and adult, Crystal Wong. All right, if you would all stand, please, we're going to do our national anthems. We have flags up on the podium, up on the stage. We'll start with our Canadian national anthem. Men, please remove your hats. Thank you. Please remain standing for the playing of the United States national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you. Let's bring these athletes out with a good round of applause as they come out and start warming up. Reminder that the winner goes to Buenos Aires. Represents North America. Also, table 2 will have 3rd and 4th place. We have Ivy Liao from Canada versus Grace Zhang from USA.
Whoa, back, medic, bam, bam, whoa, back, medic, bam. So welcome to the final. Here we have a great feature coming up just before this match from Lily Zhang, 2014 Nanjing Youth Olympic bronze medalist.
My experience at the Youth Olympic Games was fantastic. It was one of the best moments of my life, and I remember comparing it to the London Olympic Games, and seeing that everything was so similar, from the opening ceremonies to the Olympic Village to the tournament venues. They did a fantastic job of making it super similar to Olympics and keeping on par. And what I loved most about the Youth Olympic Games actually was that everyone was the same age, so you could feel super comfortable talking to anyone, and everyone was super welcoming and inviting. And also, what I really enjoyed about it as well was that it helped prepare me for the real Olympic Games. Going into that bronze medal match, I do remember it was a lot of pressure, and I had a lot of nerves, but being able to overcome it and actually go home with that win really motivated me and encouraged me to do better at the Rio Olympic Games, and I really felt like that helped a lot. And I think that the youth in America today are so fantastic, and they're really growing the sport. And you can.
Okay, so a great message there from Nanjing Youth Olympic bronze medalist Lily Zhang. And here is the opportunity for one of these two American players, Crystal Wong or Amy Wong, also to follow in her footsteps and have a chance at playing the Youth Olympic Games.
And in the early going, it is Amy Wong who's taking a 2-1 lead on Crystal Wong. Crystal, who is from Bellevue, Washington. And Amy Wong, of course, from Livingston, New Jersey. As we're just underway here in what is a best-of-7 matchup for the women's finals. And Matt Hetherington was just saying that one of these two young ladies are going to have the same opportunity that Lily Zhang had in Nanjing. They're going to do it in Buenos Aires, and that will be in October of the upcoming year, 2018. And you earn a spot in that event in the Youth Olympics by winning right here. It's been a day-long event. 16 players started in the women's bracket, and we're down to 2. Amy Wong and Crystal Wong. Amy Wong, who is the 45th ranked junior player in the world with the serve.
Should be a very interesting match between these two players. They have played each other on so many occasions, and even at the international level, we're just the closest level players. Crystal Wong reaching number 3 in the world for the under-15 girls, and Amy Wong reaching number 4. So you can imagine how strong that US cadet team has been with these two players.
Oh, great backhand that time by Amy Wong. Across the body and into the deep right corner as she looks at the table, and that was a beautiful backhand.
Some pretty strong results from both players during the day. Amy Wong winning her first round match against Benita Zhou, or her first match against Laura Lai rather, 4-0, then coming through to beat Benita Zhou 4-0, and 4-1 she beat Grace Young in the semi-final. Crystal Wong, a 4-0 win to start against Isabel Xiong. She got a little bit pushed by Rachel Yang, the defensive player, but came out in the semi-finals to win 4-0 against Ivy Liao. We're down to the last match now. Which of these players is going to come through?
These two players have played each other quite frequently, actually. This is the 22nd time in tournament competition that these two players have faced off against one another. And so far, the better of the matchup has been to Amy Wong. She has a 13-8 record against Crystal Wong historically.
Interesting to see, as close as the match was in the 7th game, she actually won the match, their last encounter at the US Nationals this year. And right now, off to a great start here. And it's 10-5. First game point going to Amy Wong. I've seen some great matches between these two players. Very interesting contrast of styles. Crystal Wang, very much a player who can generate her own ball acceleration and power. Amy Wang, a little more reliant on the speed from her opposition. Good at redirecting the ball, countering.
Strong backhand by Crystal that time.
Yeah, and you can just see a good example there. Crystal opens with the power, and Amy just tries to divert all of that out into the opposite corner.
Crystal on a bit of a run here, but still down by 2. And Amy Wang misses the table on the forehand loop, and that it brings us to 10-9. Now Amy Wang serving here for game point in game 1.
She goes long.
And she wins it.
And as close as that was, 4 in a row for Crystal Wang before Amy Wang was able to close that out. 11-9 for Amy Wang. It's been a great day of competition. I've certainly enjoyed doing commentary throughout the day.
Matt Hetherington, it's always a pleasure to be with you, of course, and everybody here at the crew for Triode Media, with Jason Kirshner running the controls, David Del Vecchio doing his spectacular work as well. We've had 2 streams going all day long, tables 1 and 2 here at the Las Vegas Convention Center. It is really the opening salvo of the U.S. Open. We've got a lot of broadcasts. If you are interested in watching table tennis this week, you're going to get a lot of it coming from the Las Vegas Convention Center, and it all leads towards the final table at the Foundry here in Las Vegas, when the men's, women's singles finals will be held in rather spectacular fashion. And knowing Gordon Kay, the CEO of USA Table Tennis, I would imagine spectacular will be the stage at the Foundry on Thursday evening.
Absolutely. If it's anything like last year, it will be a great event. So, 1 game up here. Bit of a smile on the face of Amy Wang there. It looks like the umpire threw her the ball and
it went under the table or somewhere. It's lost.
Hit Amy with the ball
we
before
gotta stop.
it vanished.
Everybody go home.
So another ball is going to come out here. So 1-0. Amy Wang taking the first game. Crystal Wang, though, coming back at the end of that game. And again, the second game will be very, very interesting. Now, I talked a little bit in the first game about the contrast of styles here. Crystal Wang is a player who can be a little more aggressive. She's good at generating her own spin and power. But we've seen on a number of occasions that Amy Wang actually enjoys playing against that, because she can use a lot of that spin and power to her advantage. She's very good at redirecting the ball.
That was a good dig off the deep right side for her, for Amy Wang, to get that ball back on the table, because it looked like it was going to be behind her.
Yeah, a little clip of the edge there. Good aggression shown by Amy Wang. Nice to see her changing things up sometimes and playing a little more aggressively.
She's getting a lot of movement, Amy Wang, off of her serve. So far in both games that have been played, it's taking a pretty wicked turn when it hits on the opponent's side of the table.
There's a break off the net for Crystal Wang. One area of strength for Amy Wang is backhand to backhand. Very strong on her backhand side. So Crystal Wang, I think, is going to have to try and target the middle and the forehand a little bit more before she goes to the backhand side. Definitely doesn't want to get caught in backhand to backhand rallies. Creative serve return there. There, a good example of what I was just talking about. Crystal Wang taking her a little bit wider over to the forehand first. Opened up the gap on the backhand side, then played down the line. So that's going to be an important strategy for her throughout this match. She doesn't want Amy Wang to be kind of anchored on that backhand side.
And it's 3 in a row for Crystal Wang, who's now tied things at 5 here in game 2 of the women's finals of the North American Continental Youth Olympic Games qualifying tournament. One of these two young ladies is going to get a berth in the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires, upcoming in 2018.
Interestingly enough, I believe the Argentina Junior Open, which Amy Wong won this year, was actually in Buenos Aires. So no doubt she'd very much be looking forward to trying to go back there.
And Crystal Wong on a big run here. 6 consecutive points. And up 8-5.
And
Get 7.
again, just opens up a little gap on that backhand side. If she can force Amy Wong to open up from the middle with her backhand, it presents a little opportunity for her to play down that white line on the backhand side. Big risk there, Amy Wong.
Game point for Crystal here. I think that one's in the net. Amy Wong serving down 3.
It's Wong, Amy Wong, who makes the opening. You can just see that it just seems like such a small amount of effort, but she's playing just left and right, really always changing at quite high speed, the placement from quite difficult angles as well.
And off the net and out, and that does it. Crystal Wong evens things at 1 game apiece, bouncing back from an 11-9 loss in game 1. Wong comes back and had a 7-point rally at one point and caps it off with an 11-8 victory over Amy Wong in game 2. So Crystal Wong, as we had seen earlier in the day, one of those players that has the capacity to adjust to the opponent, just not going to stick with her style and just keep pounding it, whether it's working or not. She's going to find a way to respond to the opponent, and had done that in game 2 against Amy Wong.
So the players will go back to their coaches. Crystal Wong to Anthony Zhao. Amy Wong to 2013 U.S. national finalist Corey Ida. And we'll see what advice these coaches have to offer to their players as they go into the 3rd game, tied up at 1-1. Big stakes on the line here. A place at a once-in-a-lifetime tournament, the Youth Olympic Games.
Lily Zhang made some good points about the Youth Olympic Games as well, as everybody's about the same age. So unlike if you went to Rio as a youngster like Kanak Jha did, where everybody's basically older than you are, and your ability and your capacity to perhaps communicate with everybody who's in a little different phase of their life might be more difficult. Here, you're all of similar ages and you're all competing throughout the world. It's a tremendous opportunity just to get to meet people and to really represent your country in an early phase of your life.
Great deflection there from Amy Wong. Again, using that power. She's letting Crystal do a lot of the heavy lifting here. And I think so far across these first 3 games, an area where Amy Wong has struggled a little bit more is that heavy push into the backhand. Just playing a little bit too much through her shoulder.
Errant serve that time by Amy Wong. Goes wide to the right side of the table, and now it's 2-2 here in game 2. Excuse me, game 3. It's 1-1 in games. Good point for Amy Wong. The backhand to the forehand side of Crystal Wong is deep on the table and difficult to handle. With that spot again, that's almost right on the corner. If you're looking at the table from the perspective of Amy Wong, it's to her left, and it puts Crystal Wong on her forehand, but it's just a deep ball to handle. She was going for it again, but missed this time.
The ball a little bit long there from Amy Wong. 1-1 and 4-4. I think we should definitely expect a close match between these two players.
We're getting it right now. Oh, it's a good shot by Amy Wong. This time using the other corner, the backhand side on Crystal Wong. It's off the tip of her paddle and wide from Crystal Wong. And Amy Wong has taken a 5-4 lead here in game 3.
Superb placement from Amy Wong. Again, a combination of wide to wide in the other direction.
You could see Corey Eider jump out of his seat on that one because it was the side-to-side placement was as good as we've seen all day.
And another great opening. Very, very strong area of her game. Amy Wong, precise and accurate placement wins her a lot of points. And I mean, a lot of people will comment about Amy Wong's game, about just the lack of an appearance of effort. Everything just looks so easy and simple and relaxed.
These are two players who have a high degree of poise out on the court as you watch them. They don't seem to be flustered by a whole lot, but Amy Wong certainly displays that persona while she's playing.
Another good example of the wide. Didn't quite land the second one, but you can see the intention behind her points, even the ones that she's not able to convert. 9-5 now with the lead.
And it's long off the racket of Crystal Wong. So Amy Wong with 5 game points, tied at 1 game apiece here in game 3. There it is.
What an amazing shot. Inside out backhand.
That's a tough ball to handle right there. That's spinning away from your body if you're Crystal Wong, and you're already, there's a huge wide open gap on that side of the table, and Crystal just could not get over quickly enough to handle it. And I think in large part because Amy Wong did such a great job in that third game, Matt, of moving side to side.
Absolutely.
Her shots just alternated deep left, deep right, makes it very difficult on the opposition.
Yeah, and she has such a great ability to be able to control such risky placement. A lot of players would really struggle with that placement, you know, playing inside out backhand and, you know, inside out forehand. From the middle of the table, she is very successful at being able to play wide to both wings, and that makes her so incredibly dangerous in a rally because you have to be able to cover so much more of the table and off the wings of both sides of the table as well. So a big focus for Crystal Wong has to be how she can close those angles off, how she can stop Amy Wong from being able to play those wide angles.
So Amy Wong leading 2-1. Game 4 starts with the serve and wins the first point. And continues the momentum that she has been riding here since the mid portion of game 3.
Nice pickup there from Crystal Wong. It's a very difficult situation as well for these players. I mean, yes, they've played each other a number of times, but they're the same age and they've been in a lot of teams together. To play your teammate and a close friend in such a high pressure, I mean, both of these players want to win so much, and when you're playing a good friend, it's so difficult to beat that pressure.
Great rally, but the last shot by Amy Wong went long. You know, it really speaks to the importance of getting international exposure, like Kanak Jha were talking earlier, going out and seeing different people, seeing different styles, seeing different parts of the world. Where they do play a different type of table tennis, and to improve. you've really got to be at the top level. You've got to be able to play against every style. You've got to be able to recognize it and know what your strength is to counter whatever the opposition is going to present to you.
Wow.
Great shot that time by Crystal Wong.
It was a good opening from Amy Wong to play that down the line. Crystal Wong just managed to step out of the way so she could block that wide to the forehand.
A great return of service that time by Amy Wong, deep into the forehand corner on Crystal Wong. Difficult ball to handle. She wasn't able to.
Actually reminds me of the first time that I saw these two playing. I think it was the national team trial in 2014 for the Suzhou World Championships that were in the following year of 2015. And Amy was trailing 3-1 and just completely changed her tactical game to pushing long and hard. And then when Crystal opened that ball, like we saw on that point, Amy was just ready to play over the top and came back and won the match. So that's one of the matches that I recall between these two. This time, wow, great play from both players. This time, Amy Wong doing a little bit of the work, being a little more aggressive. And doesn't quite step in close enough to that ball. One of the difficult things about being a taller player is being able to stay low enough so you can play from underneath that short ball.
Oh, great change of direction that time by Amy Wong. Came deep to the forehand and deep to the back. Just what we've seen really for most of this match out of her, but two beautiful consecutive shots there.
Corner to corner. And Amy Wong again, just diverting all of the energy that Crystal Wong puts into the ball. And she almost uses it to slingshot the ball into the most difficult place she can. And you can see again, waits for the opening ball and then just redirects it all straight into the corner. Very, very accurate. Crystal did a good job there of returning that ball and winning the point.
Both players changing direction that time. Big point for Amy Wong now at 9-6 here in game 4, leading 2-1. Serve remains with Crystal Wong, down by 3.
Goes for the short ball. She popped it up a little bit.
Nice attack on the forehand by Crystal Wong. Just buried that one.
And it'll be 2 points for Crystal Wong off the serve of Amy Wong. Oh, one rather.
Excellent return that time by Crystal Wong, because that was not an easy serve to return. Now 3 in a row for Crystal Wong. We're at 9-9.
Put in the early prediction there. So
you saw that coming.
Here we
you
go.
should run to the casino right now, man.
Big opportunity here, Crystal Wong, to draw this game up. Clips the net and she'll get a game point.
Amy Wong kind of shaking her head after that, because I think she felt like she had won that point, and Mr. Wong got it back across.
And she gets the luck back with a bit of an edge ball there.
And now to deuce a 10-10 here in a critical game 4.
And what a fantastic backhand opening. Again, inside out to the corner.
Oh, a tremendous spin on it coming down to the forehand side of Crystal Wong. This is a great shot by Amy Wong.
And she pushes deep
And
onto the table. 3-1 now.
Takes a 3-1 lead here in the women's finals of the North American Continental Youth Olympic Games qualification tournament. And Amy Wong, very confident. One of the things I really like, Matt, about Amy's game is that she is willing to take a lot of chances, and when they don't work out for her, she really doesn't show a high level of frustration. She gets right back and she gets ready for the next point. Sometimes I think you get lost in what is behind you and forget about what's in front of you. It's just absolutely critical in any sport. You know, I tell the story, I was around the goaltender Jonathan Quick, who's won 2 Stanley Cups with the Los Angeles Kings, and people often ask me, what's the most outstanding feature of having spent time around Jonathan Quick? And I say, it's his ability to forget what has already happened. Great athlete, tremendous person to be around, but it's almost like having that short memory that he never worried about something that is already done and completed. He was already on to the next task.
Definitely.
After that was gone.
Definitely, and that's such an asset for table tennis players, not to get caught up in what's already happened. And I think the big skill that you need to take away from it is to not completely forget about the points that have already passed, but to take away from them only what you need to, and use that to move forward and to try and change how the game's playing out, especially when you've lost a string of points in a row. A lot of people carry the burden of having lost with them. Usually, both of these players, especially at such a young age, do really well to put that behind them. And I mean, throughout this tournament, we've seen pressure handled so well. And the last match on this table between Kanak Jara and Nikhil Kumar was a perfect example of a young player not being fazed by being down so much in the match and coming back to win. So I've been so impressed throughout this tournament, not just the skill level, but the maturity and the mental approach to the matches from all of these players.
Crystal Wong jumping out here in game 5. And finally, Amy Wong on the board, but at 4-1, Crystal Wong came out extremely strong, kind of taking a page out of Amy Wong's book, a couple times changing directions on her. Leads 4-1 here in game 5, down 3-1. Tremendous shot by Amy Wong. Just working on the backhand side on Crystal, and then the second she was able to step around to the forehand, drilled it down the forehand side.
Yeah, she did a super job also. I mean, on a lot of occasions we've seen her play straight from one corner to the next, but she seemed to recognize that Crystal was still balanced enough to get across, and so she played a few balls across to the corner first before taking it out to the forehand. Now she pulls to within 1 point. And just so unpredictable in where she's going to play. You can see the look on Crystal Wong's face as well.
Great decision making by Amy Wong there to go back to the backhand on that play.
Yeah, I mean, to go wide, wide, wide. You can see that Crystal Wong was a lot more wary about the ball that could have been going wide to her forehand, and that made her a lot more susceptible to the down the line ball. So it's a timeout now by Crystal Wong.
Mark Thompson, Matt Hetherington. We're here at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Great crowd on hand at table 1 watching the women's finals in the North American Continental Youth Olympic Games. 2 young American ladies going at it. One of these 2 ladies is going to earn a spot at the Youth Olympic Games, which began back in 2010. They were held in Singapore that year. In 2014 in Nanjing, China, where Lily Zhang, the current reigning women's national champion, won a bronze medal, the only medal ever won in the Olympics by Team USA. Table tennis wise.
Good start there after the timeout from Amy Wong. Still, I mean, so impressive, not just to see these really great plays from Amy Wong, but to see her perform them point after point so consistently.
Wow, great rally. Amy Wong went twice to the forehand, twice to the backhand, and Crystal Wong was staving them off. She came back with some tremendous responses, but just could not save that last one.
And Crystal Wong picking up the speed a little bit.
I think that would come on instruction from the coach just to be a little bit more aggressive here when you're down 3-1 and in need of turning the momentum.
Looked like Corey Ida was just signaling at her maybe to play a little more into the elbow. We'll see if she can execute that. Of course, now international tournaments, US tournaments, coaching between points is allowed, contrary to former rules where you could only coach between games. So 8-6 and 3-1, a big, strong position here for Amy Wong. And she capitalizes one more point. Just 2 points away now from qualifying for the Youth Olympic Games. Can Crystal Wong battle back?
And here we go with quadruple match point for an opportunity to go to Buenos Aires. Serve does shift to Crystal Wong, trailing 10-6. She staves off one of those points. Down 3-1 and down 10-7, serving. And that puts an exclamation point on that match. Change of direction by Amy Wong pays off, and she's headed to Buenos Aires. It's not quite Disneyland, but hey, maybe they do have Disneyland down in Buenos Aires. I'm not sure.
Who has just punched her ticket to Buenos Aires and will be representing North America in the 2018
And
Youth
big
Olympic
smiles
Games.
from Amy Wong. What a fantastic effort in the final. Probably some of her best table tennis. Tactically and skillfully, she really brought her A game to the match.
Congratulations to both of our contestants.
You can see the smile on her face. She's just absolutely beaming in the corner. And I know that Crystal Wong is upset by the end result here, but really I'm not sure that there was much of a response that she could have had to the play of Amy Wong, who looked like she was at the top of her game.
Yeah, I think, I mean, on so many occasions, both Crystal and Amy Wong have really just showed how much of a talent they are for USA table tennis to be ranked so highly in the world as cadet girls. Both of them have already played World Championships at senior level. I think they both have very promising futures ahead of them. The sad thing about an event like this, only one of them can get that place to go to Buenos Aires. Possibly, maybe both of them may have deserved it, but today, Amy Wong really almost unstoppable out there, and just such an impressive showing. Outstanding placement. Probably one of the best tactical matches we have seen here today. And the girls singles rounds to a close, and it's Amy Wong who will go to the 2018 Buenos Aires Youth Olympic Games. You can see a lot of the kids who have come across from New Jersey, from my club, Corey Ida, Judy, her brother Alan Wong there. Of course, one of the first things I noticed when she won the final point, two-time Olympian Lily Yip, who's also helped her a lot with her game, was on her feet as well. So it'll be a very great moment for her and a super result.
We're going to get a presentation of the award here to Amy Wong as well. Crystal Wong coming out as a finalist in this event. Of course, it doesn't necessarily end the hope for a person like Crystal Wong to actually perform in the Youth Olympic Games. There are other avenues to qualify for the event. It's a 32-person field when it actually happens. This is just playing for one guaranteed spot. Amy Wong has that. Wouldn't shock me as the 22nd person in the junior world that Crystal Wong would end up there as well.
First and second place awards to Crystal and Amy Wong. First, today's runner-up and the first alternate for North America for the 2018 Youth Olympic Games from Bellevue, Washington, Crystal Wong. And today's champion, who will be representing the United States at the 2018 Youth Olympic Games from Turnersville, New Jersey, and Lily Yip Table Tennis Club. Please give a big round of applause to Amy Wong.
So it's Amy Wong who ends up qualifying for the Youth Olympics in Buenos Aires in 2018. Matt, you and I next get an opportunity for the men's final. And boy, what a showdown we're going to get in just a moment here. Kanak Ja, the #1 junior in America, taking on a top-ranked junior player out of Canada. As coming across, Jeremy Haven has qualified for the finals as well. Looking forward to this final match coming up.
Yeah, definitely, and just 5 or 6 minutes away, and we'll be underway with the boys singles final. Very much looking forward to it.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back in just a moment from the Las Vegas Convention Center. Mark Thompson, Matt Hetherington, the men's finals in the North American Continental Youth Olympic Games qualification tournament coming up in just a moment.
will be starting this match, the men's finals, in approximately 7 minutes.
Jeremy Hazen to the table 1 control desk, please. Jeremy Hazen to the table 1 control desk, please. Coming up in a few minutes here on table 1 will be the boys final men's championship match of the 2018 Youth Olympic Games ITTF North America Qualification Tournament between the United States Canuck Zhang and Canada's Jeremy Hazen. Coming up in a few minutes. Well, we've got a minute or two in between our matches. Today is the first day of the U.S. Open. Don't forget, we've got a full week of table tennis ahead. The men's and women's championship singles will be played Thursday night at SLS. Ticket availability is limited, so please purchase your tickets early. Also, let's recognize the great contribution of our officials today at the Youth Olympic Games qualifiers who've been working all day on this event. Done a great job. Thank you. We're going to get started here in a couple minutes. Don't forget, over on court 2, we have the third, fourth place match between Victor Liu and Nikhil Kumar. Over here on court 1, Jeremy Hazen and Kanak Jha. We're going to get started in a couple minutes here. Please welcome onto the court the officials and competitors in tonight's championship match of the men's singles of the 2018 Youth Olympic Games North American qualifiers. First, welcome our officials from the great state of California, Saul Weinstein and Gregory Chan. First, let's introduce from Richmond Hill, Ontario. He was a member of the 2017 team for Team Canada at the 2017 World Championships. He's currently ranked number 80 in the world in junior boys. He was the 2017 gold medalist at the Butterfly Canadian Championships and the 2017 Canada Cup. Please welcome Jeremy Hazen. And from Milpitas, California, representing the World Champions Table Tennis Club, he is currently ranked number 9 in the world in the under 18 boys. He is the youngest Olympic men's table tennis player ever, the 2-time and current U.S. national champion, the reigning 2017 Pan American Junior champion. Please welcome Canuck Zhang. This is the finals of the men's championship for the 2018 Youth Olympic Games North American qualifier. The winner is going to Buenos Aires. Good luck, gentlemen. Let's have a great match.
Welcome back. We're here at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and it all comes down to this, Matt Hetherington. I'm Mark Thompson as we get ready for the men's finals. It's Canuck Zhang, the #1 junior American, against, well, one of the top juniors from Canada as well, Jeremy Hazen. Both of these gentlemen battling their way to the finals, and one of these two young men, Matt Hetherington, will travel to Buenos Aires in October of 2018 for the Youth Olympic Games. A tremendous honor. This is a one-day single elimination tournament that we've been holding here as a kickoff event for the U.S. Open in Las Vegas. And there's a lot on the line for these two young men.
And of course, before this match, we have a great clip from Lily Zhang, 2014 Nanjing Youth Olympic Games bronze medalist.
My experience at the Youth Olympic Games was fantastic. It was one of the best moments of my life, and I remember comparing it to the London Olympic Games, and seeing that everything was so similar, from the opening ceremonies to the Olympics Village to the tournament venues. They did a fantastic job of making it super similar to Olympics and keeping on par. And what I loved most about the Youth Olympic Games actually was that everyone was the same age, so you could feel super comfortable talking to anyone, and everyone was super welcoming and inviting. And also, what I really enjoyed about it as well was that it helped prepare me for the real Olympic Games. Going into that bronze medal match, I do remember it was a lot of pressure, and I had a lot of nerves, but being able to overcome it and actually go home with that win really motivated me and encouraged me to do better at the Rio Olympic Games, and I really felt like that helped a lot. And I think that the youth in America today are so fantastic, and they're really, really growing the sport. And you can see the results internationally from...
Okay, so we're underway. The boys singles final. Canuck Zhang of the USA, Jeremy Hazen from Canada. Great to have one player from each country competing here in the North American qualification final. Not just the top juniors from their country, but actually domestically the top men. So Kanak Jha, two-time national men's singles champion from the USA. Jeremy Hazen this year, Canada Cup winner and Canadian national champion in the men's singles.
And early on here, Jha leading 2-1 over Hazen. Of course, Kanak Jha out of Milpitas, California, in the San Jose area.
Now, one of the things that will come from the semi-final that Kanak played is that against Jeremy, Jeremy has almost a similar style to Nikhil. He's left-handed and he plays a little bit softer on the backhand. He's still able to loop a lot more further back from the table, but almost a similar style to Nikhil Kumar. So we're going to see what Kanak learnt from his match against Nikhil in the semi-final. That will help him here in this match. There's a lot more at stake down to the final two.
We had a lot of time to learn things against Nikhil as it went all 7 games. Not an easy battle. He won games 1 and then came through in games 5, 6, and 7 to take the best of 7, 4 games to 3. So he was down deep against Nikhil and battled his way back.
Definitely, and not necessarily a bad thing to be put under that much pressure in the semi-final and to claw your way back and come through it is sometimes actually better for you than clean sweeping the semi-final, because you don't take anything for granted. You really feel the value of every single point in every match.
Hazen did clean sweep his semifinal match against Victor Liu, as Jeremy Hazen out of Richmond Hill, Ontario. I noted it earlier, but I'm coming from the hockey world, and Richmond Hill is well known in the hockey world as having turned out some premier NHL talent.
And clips the edge there. One of the big strategies Kanak will be looking to is switching and transitioning back across from the forehand into the backhand. When Jeremy Hazen starts attacking, he'll look to take it back across so that Jeremy's forced to play a bit softer, which he usually does on his backhand side. No doubt, after that semi-final, Stefan Feth would have sat down with Kanak Jha and really talked through this final about how they're going to approach the match, the tactics, and I think he will come into this match much better prepared mentally to get a strong start. There, of course, is Arun Jha. Kanak's father has put a lot of resources and effort and time into developing Kanak. They've really pushed him to follow his passions, which, I mean, is just been so great for him to have that backing from his family. I know Jeremy's family are also the same, so two great players here who the support of their family have really helped them become more developed players.
And good human beings on top of that. If you've met Kanak, you know he's got one of those attitudes. It's infectious, it's very positive, it's upbeat, and it comes, I'm sure, from both his mom and dad. I've had an opportunity to meet his dad, and I found him to have a very similar approach and outlook on life. Very upbeat, very energetic, and very receptive and open to other people.
So Kanak here with a 1-point lead in the first game. And Jeremy Hazen clips the net and just puts it over the end.
Hazen missed on that big forehand loop that time and puts Kanak Jha in control of triple game point here in game 1 of the men's finals of our Olympic qualifier.
And Kanak Jha takes the first game.
Great sequence there. The second to last forehand by Kanak Jha was right in the corner on the backhand, or actually on the forehand side on Hazen, the left-hander. Not a difficult, or not an easy ball to handle, and Kanak Jha ends up winning Game 1, 11-7. I note that over in Ja's corner as he talks with Stefan Feth, he's also got
taking a seat.
yes, which is a little bit unusual, but he's got Jorg Bitsagayo, the high-performance director of USA Table Tennis, who is keeping a close eye on his young talent as well, as he and Stefan Feth working together to develop the national team for the U.S. And there is a lot of top quality talent. You noted it, Matt, but Kanak Ja is not only the top junior in the U.S., he's the top man in the U.S., and he's got a, after this particular event, depending on, regardless of how it comes out, he's still got the U.S. Open in front of him, and that would be a notch to add into anybody's belt, and certainly Kanak Ja will be gunning to be a part of that.
Definitely saw in the first game Kanak coming out being a bit more assertive from the beginning this time. Sometimes it's good just to move the ball a little bit at a time, so your opponent feels like the ball's coming back to the same place, and they kind of stay in the same place. They anchor down a bit.
Ja got the benefit of a big bounce off the top of the net that time and buried it, and gave, as you see from time to time, the players, as a courtesy to the opposition, will say, sorry. Not that sorry, but I am sorry.
And you can see there again, on 2 different occasions, straight from the serve, goes across to the forehand side of the middle, back to the backhand. Then he doesn't get the ball he wants. He goes back across to the forehand again. He's really trying to open up that backhand corner. And there it is again. But Hazen got the better of him in the end.
Good job that time by Jeremy Hazen. Several good forehand loops, and then he stepped around what could have been a ball to be struck by the backhand, stepped around it to get the big left-handed forehand deep into the far corner. That was a very nice shot by Hazen.
And Kanak Ja, we saw in the last matchup here, he missed quite a few of those opportunities because he hadn't really gotten close enough to the ball. Big step into the table this time.
And Ja now up 6-2 here in Game 2, leading 1-0 in the finals. And you're right, Matt. He has a whole different almost approach to this match than what we saw against Nikhil Kumar, where he was, in the early going at least, relatively passive and didn't have perhaps the jump that he did late in that match, and he's got it early in this one.
Fantastic combination of shots there. Kanak did a great job of coming across to his forehand, but still being able to play the ball across court. That's a very hard shot to play when your body's facing away from the table. And Kanak Ja is just brimming with confidence right now.
He's done a very good job in this match, Matt, of staying very tight to the table and not backing down at all. And Hazen's got a very nice forehand that could back you down, but Ja has not gone off the table at all.
Yeah, and I think he will have recognized that early on, where in the beginning I said Nikhil Kumar and Jeremy Hazen do have similar playing styles, but Jeremy Hazen has quite a significant amount more power on his forehand. So Kanak will already be aware of what happens if he plays soft against Nikhil. So that's going to be amplified. If he plays that same strategy against Jeremy, potentially devastating for him in the final. And he's really locked down on that right from the beginning. So definitely seeing the rewards early on here in the first 2 games.
And in Game 2, relatively rewarding right now. 10-3 lead for Kanak Ja. And he ends up winning Game 2, 11-3 on Jeremy Hazen. And that one was, I think, classic Kanak Ja, as we've seen previously, is when he's in that aggressive posture, attacking the table. And as I noted, it felt like he was staying right on top of the table in that entire second game, an 11-3 victory. So now he's up 2-0, 11-7, 11-3. And of course, Kanak Ja, who was the youngest Olympian ever for Team USA in Rio, is, I'm sure, just as intent to try to get to the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires, where they'll get to face some of the up-and-coming talent internationally. Man, I think I misspoke when we were in the earlier final for the young ladies between Amy Wong and Crystal Wong. You were explaining to me that only one person from each country is eligible to play in the Youth Olympic Games. And obviously, since Amy Wong representing America is going to go there, no other American will have that opportunity.
That's right.
So from this circumstance, you got a little bit different setup because even if Jeremy Hazen were to lose this match, presumably he or somebody else could end up representing Canada in that event. And I'm not predicting the outcome of this one. There's still a long way to go.
So what can Jeremy Hazen come up with here? It's been a strong start from Kanak Jah. Big contrast from his semi-final match.
We get a good angle here on Jeremy Hazen serving from our side. You talk about it when he serves, he steps around deep to what, if you're looking at the table from the back end, the right side of it.
Yeah, it's a very uncommon service stance because it takes you quite a while to get back around the corner to recover, but is actually a serving style that was used by Liu Guoliang, who was the Chinese head coach up until recently. He won World Championships, Olympic Games, and was very famous for this service stance of having one foot around the side of the table, so he's almost backwards when he serves the ball.
Matt, I'm presuming, though, that the ball has to originate from behind the back line on the serve.
Right.
You can't serve it from the side. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
otherwise, guys might walk up there and create all sorts of weird angles right off the serve.
Yeah, it's a very interesting service technique. I think it was more popular. Wow, great rally developing here. Good finish by Kanak Jah. Yeah, as I was saying, I think it was a technique that was used more frequently when hiding the ball was not illegal. So the players would put their body in front of the ball when they served, and having their back to the table helped them hide the contact point. That might be the strongest shot we've seen Kanak having to play this tournament so far.
The return of service by Hazen got up high, and Kanak was just teeing up on that one. Ja leading 6-2 here in game 3. He's up 2-0. Good blocks on the backhand that time by John. Hazen ultimately hit one into the net, and now is down 7-2 here in game 3.
Oh, and Jeremy Hazen takes that point. We saw great control from Kanak Jah.
Now Hazen with a little bit of a run here, pulls within 3 of Ja, who's serving at 7-4 in game 3. The young American out of Milpitas, California, has been training in Grenzau, Germany of late, and looks to be in tremendous physical condition, and his game is in equally high quality form right now. But Hazen's done a good job of hanging around, and he's made a little bit of a run here in game 3, try to get some momentum pushing in his favor. And I think that Kanak Jah is kind of sensing the same. And Stefan Feth and he are going to have a little bit of conversation here mid-match. to see whether they can right the ship again. I don't know that anything has been missing out of Ja's game as much as it does appear that Hazen's gaining a bit of confidence here in Game 3.
Yeah, and Jeremy Hazen will definitely be looking to extend that short spell of momentum he's had. He needs to fight his way back into this match, and really taking the third game is a crucial step in him being able to do that. So Stefan Feth will want to make sure that doesn't happen. He's proven that he's very good at being able to recenter Canuck, refocus him, keep him calm. They've been working together for an incredibly long time as coach and student. And yeah, that relationship, when they go back to the bench, really helps Canuck stabilize and continue with his strategies and with the match.
Now Hazen ringing off 4 in a row. He's got it at 7-6 or 6-7 serving. Great rally.
What a fantastic rally. Both players really throwing a lot of different shots into the point.
Ja did a good job moving the ball side to side several times in that sequence. Deep to the backhand, deep to the forehand, and got a couple of balls up high. Hazen stood right in and returned most of it. Point to Ja. And that point to Ja as well. And now up by 3 again here at 9-6. And the timeout this time will come from Jeremy Hazen of Richmond Hill, Canada, Ontario, Canada, where he'll go over and talk with his coach as well. Try to settle down, realizing this is really a pivotal moment to go down 3-0 to Canuck Ja. Would make the climb back difficult, but we saw in Ja's matchup with Nikhil Kumar, he was down 3-1 and was able to regroup and come back. And I did not feel that Nikhil Kumar played poorly in games 5, 6, and 7 against Canuck Ja. To me, I thought you hit the nail right on the head, Matt, when you described that he went from a somewhat soft style early in that match to suddenly saying, you know what, if I'm going to win here today, I'm going to have to take control and be aggressive and make the point happen. And he's done that really in this match since the opening salvo.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's proven that he has the amount of maturity to really quickly analyze, and as I said, Stefan Feth would have gone over this with him after the match, to really break down the semi-final match and bring all of the knowledge from that match forward with him into this match. And 11-6, he will take the 3-0 lead.
So Canuck Ja has Jeremy Hazen on the ropes here as he comes out of the timeout for Hazen and quickly takes back-to-back points, both of which, again, showed a dominating and aggressive posture. And once again, Canuck, in some, I don't know if it's unusual or not, but goes in over and takes a seat over in his corner with Stefan Feth rather than standing up. And it seems like from Canuck Ja, he's a guy with a lot of energy. I'm sure his training schedule in Germany is an all-day affair. I mean, they used to make a big deal about the Tiger Woods day that started at 6 in the morning and ended at about 9 at night with training and nutrition and playing your sport. I'm confident that in the table tennis world, it's a very similar lifestyle for the pro.
Yeah, very much so. It's a big step up for him to go to full-time training, and it makes a phenomenal difference in the competitive level of players to go from kind of being part-time and doing school as well as table tennis training to really giving table tennis your priority focus. And I think that's been a big step forward for Canuck since he moved to Sweden and trained and played in Sweden and now Germany. There's really been leaps and bounds in his game development over the last 3, I guess 2, 3, 4 years now.
Good job by Hazen that time. A soft return by Ja, kind of bounced up high, and Hazen comes across with a strong forehand, drives it by Canuck Ja. Gets on the board here in game 4.
And a great serve return there. See, straight away, he realized that the soft return wasn't going to work for him. He was a lot more direct with his serve return and opened up a good opportunity. Just pulled Jeremy off the whole table.
Had him running from side to side that time.
And again, we're seeing switching, transition back from the forehand side across to the backhand side. Just trying to exploit that backhand corner weakness from Jeremy Hazen. Nice
Excellent
reflex play.
Yeah, it was. The third ball that time by Ja was just get the racket in front of the bar, get the paddle in front of the ball. And it was a good shot by Hazen, and all of a sudden, I'm not sure he expected that one to come back.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the half-long serve by Canuck was intentional or not. But Jeremy Hazen managed to play a really powerful forehand straight off that serve.
Games are 3-0 right now, favoring Canuck. He's up 5-2 here in Game 4. Trying to make straight game order of Jeremy Hazen, top young players out of the Great White North in Canada. Oh, off the edge, and nothing you're going to do about that one. That makes it 7-2, Ja. Here, up 3-0.
And great changes in placement there. Finally catching him in the middle was enough for him to take the point.
You
can
tell.
just see in this replay going out wide, bringing it in a bit. See, it's almost in the similar place, and then just that subtle change at the end. And it is 9-2. Canuck Ja, 2 points away from attending his second Olympic experience.
And now just one for Canuck Ja, and he'll towel off as he has 8 match points against young Jeremy Hazen, who has just caught a bull rushing right through the ring right here in Canuck Ja. And that does it.
Canuck Ja finishes it off straight away. His father was on his feet over in the stand.
So Canuck Ja is headed to Buenos Aires as a member of Team America in the Youth Olympics. Certainly earned it there. Much different matchup for Canuck Ja than he had with Nikhil Kumar in the semifinals. 2 left-handers back-to-back. It looked like he learned the lesson against Kumar and came out and wins in straight games 11-7, 11-3, 11-6, and 11-2 in Game 4.
Yeah, very, very decisive performance. Like I said, he really took so much away. I mean, he could almost hand a little bit of credit to Nikhil Kumar for pushing him so close in the semifinal. It's almost like a wake-up call of, hey, you need to rate dominated the proceedings, and full credit to all 4 of the players who made the finals, and to all of the players who actually managed to be here and play this North American trial and have a chance of playing the Youth Olympic Games.
All right, want to thank everybody for joining us today on the coverage, and of course thank our producer Jason Kirshner and David Delvecchio for all of your great work. For Matt Hetherington, I am Mark Thompson. More broadcast coverage of table tennis from the U.S. Open on the way this week. Keep us in mind when you're looking for some action as things go forward. Have a great night, everybody. You've been listening to and watching North American Continental Youth Olympic Games qualifying tournament here on the live stream for USA Table Tennis.
There you go, buddy.